Okay, so today we are going to deploy a VPC in AWS and using a three-tier architecture, and then we will be deploying EC2 instances in the private subnets and a bastion host in a public subnet. Also, we will be deploying the NAT gateways and internet gateway. All will be done through Terraform manifest files. I have provided all the manifest files in this repository. So let us go to our manifest files, the provider block, Terraform provider, AWS null block, and our region will be US East 1. For the variables, we will be taking US East 1 as AWS region, environment for development, and business division is DevOps. For the local values, these are simple local values. Most of them are linked to our var file, the variable file. Going forward to our VPC, this is the VPC module file. The basic details for VPC is database subnets, NAT gateways, outbound communication, VPC DNS parameter, additional tags, VPC variables, VPC name, VPC CIDR block, VPC availability zones, public subnets, private subnets, database subnets, database subnet group, database subnet route table, enable NAT gateway, a single NAT gateway. And now we are moving on to VPC outputs. We want VPC ID, the CIDR block, private subnets, public subnets, and the NAT public IPs, and also the availability zones. For the VPC auto TFRs, we will be having all these variables. We have defined all those variables. We are taking the CIDR block of 10.16.0.0/16 in US East 1A and the US East 1B. And these are the public subnets, the private subnets, and also the database subnets. So these two subnets will be private, and only this will be the public subnet. Now going forward to the security group of the bastion host of EC2 instance, we will be allowing only the SSH access from anywhere. And if we go to the security group of the EC2 instance, we will allow SSH access and also the HTTP AT access. And the ingress CIDR block is from our CIDR block is 10.16.0.0/16. Okay, moving forward to the outputs of the security group. First, we have for the public subnet for the bastion host. We will be having bastion security group ID, the security group VPC ID, security group name, private security group ID, private security group VPC ID, and security group name. And for the data source, we will be using an Amazon Linux 2, and it will fetch those IDs for the Amazon Linux 2 IDs dynamically, so we won't have to hard coded in our manifest files. Going forward to the EC2 instance, which will be created in the private subnet. So Also it starts depends on, because first we need our VPC to be created, then we need our private subnets to be created in that custom VPC. So we have our name for the AMI, instance type, key name, VPC security groups IDs, subnet IDs, user data, and tags. This is the instance for our bastion host. As you can see, we have written bastion host here. The instance type, key name, subnet ID, security group ID, and tags. Now these are the variables: instance type and instance key pair. And this is our output file for the EC2 instances: the bastion public instance IDs, bastion public IP, private instance IDs, and the private IP. Further going forward, this is our EC2 instance auto TF vars. Instance type we will be taking T2 micro, and for instance key pair we will have TF-key. So let me show you the private key. I've already generated a tfkey.pem file in the EC2 instance console, management console, so you can create your own. And okay, so let us go to our elastic IP. So this is our elastic IP. We will be having a elastic IP for our EC2 instance. Now further, this is the null resource provisioner. We are using two null provisioners. One is the file provisioner and other is the remote exec provisioner. And this is how we will be connecting our provisioners to EC2 instances. This is a simple shell file which will install the HTTP, the Apache, inside our EC2 instances. Then it will enable the service and then start the service, and we will be writing to file, and this is the file that we will be writing to var or www html index.html. Okay, so these are some generic variables. Okay, now let us bring out the terminal. Okay, ls, let us cd into Terraform manifest files. ls, yes, we are in this directory, Terraform init. This will initialize our repository. Okay, it has been initialized. Let us validate Terraform. Validate. Yes, the configuration is valid. Let us plan Terraform plan. It will output all the resources that it will create in the AWS. And as you can see, we have a total of 34 resources that it will create. Okay, so going forward, let's do a Terraform apply. So now this command will apply all of the resources that has been shown here. It is asking for to perform an action from us. We will enter yes, a value, and after giving this value, now it will create all the resources. So let us come back when all those resources are ready. So we can see that the apply is completed. All the 34 resources are now ready. These are all the outputs that we asked on the Terraform manifest files. Now let us go to the AWS management console. Open VPC, open EC2 instance management consoles respectively. First we will be seeing the VPC management console, and you can see in there we have two VPCs. One is the default one and the other is that we created, the VPC ID with all the 6 subnets created. In the subnets panel we can see these are all the 6 subnets that was created, 2 in public and 2 of in private, and 2 more in private subnets for the TP. Okay, going forward, let us go to the EC2 instance dashboard, and in that we can see that 3 instances are in the running state and it has passed the checks 2 out of 2. Now what we will do is we will go to our bastion host and we will be testing out SSH minus I. Yes, I think this is the one. Let me just grab hold of bastion host public IP, paste it here, and yes. Okay, now I'm inside the bastion host. Let us curl to the private instance of our virtual machine, and it should give us AWS EC2 instance Naman Munir. Okay, now let us do the same thing for our second instance. Let's see if it's running also. Also, this is also giving us the same response. Good. Okay, now let us connect SSH minus I slash temp slash Terraform. Okay, this is the one, not this one. Terraform, sorry, not TF. Yes, TF key, and we will go for EC2 dash user at, and we will be taking the IP of first one EC2 instance that is in the private subnet. Let us enter. Yes, and yes, we are inside the first or a private instance in EC2 instance. Okay, let us now go towards var www html ls. Yes, we have index to HTML. Let's cat index HTML, and yes, we can see it's showing us. Okay, now let's exit it out, Control D, and now we are on the bastion host. Now let's do the same process for our second EC2 instance. Now what we'll do is SSH into our second instance. IP is 10.16.2.123, and we'll give it yes. Okay. Furthermore, what we should be doing is let's go to the same cd var www html, let ls here, cat index html. Okay, now it is working. Now and we have tested all the things here. So let me just clear the screen, and we will be going forward and Terraform, apply, destroy, auto approve. Thank you. That's it.